What's going on, everybody? It's Jack, and today I've got several air fryer recipes for you guys. Now, these do not need to be done in the air fryer. These could be done in an oven or a smaller convection-based oven, but the big thing is that the air fryer just makes it a little bit more convenient, a little bit faster, and in my opinion, a little bit easier to deal with. I think as far as kitchen instruments, air fryer is one of the easiest ones to use, so we've got that right here. But the first recipe is gonna be some chicken Parmesan sandwiches. So we've got some chicken thighs right here for our chicken. These are 3 ounces each. They're going to be using some seasoning. This is the, once again, the country roast chicken from Famous Dave's. Really use any seasoning you want, but this I got from Kroger. They're going to be using half a serving per sandwich of any sort of red sauce. This is the Prego roasted garlic Parmesan because we had it in the cupboard. And then we're also going to be using 1 full serving of cheese per sandwich. So what it comes out to be is, per sandwich is 3 ounces of chicken, half a serving of red sauce, 1 serving of cheese, and 1 English muffin. And then obviously just double that because we'll be making 2 sandwiches. And as far as the English muffins go, we're going with these 100-calorie English muffins. You guys can see that. You could get the regular English muffins, but I said, why not save some calories, give ourselves a little bit more cheese, a little less carbs. But yeah, so first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and season our chicken. We're gonna air fry that. We're gonna go in the air fryer at 365 for 12 minutes, flipping halfway. Also, air fryer tip. Put some tin foil down in the bottom of the air fryer so when you're done, you can just take the tin foil out and throw it away rather than have to wash your air fryer after every single use. I've been doing this forever. I still wash my air fryer probably once or twice a week, but this just helps make sure I don't have to wash it every single meal. Also, hit your tin foil with a little bit of non-stick so the chicken doesn't stick to the foil. And we'll see the chicken in about 12 minutes. Now we have our chicken thighs done cooking, but they're not quite done with the air fryer. What we're gonna do, we're gonna add some of our sauce and cheese onto the actual chicken thighs. We're also gonna go ahead and throw our English muffins in the air fryer to warm up. So what we're gonna do, go ahead, first of all, just go ahead and move those chicken a little bit to the edge because we wanna get enough space to fit our English muffins in there as well. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put half a serving of our red sauce on each chicken thigh. So I just put 20 grams of tomato sauce on each chicken thigh. We're gonna save the rest of the sauce until everything's done cooking and then add it to the English muffins. And as far as cheese, we're gonna use half a serving onto the chicken thighs now and then save another half for later on. Alrighty, so I'll go ahead and show you guys the best I can. That is what our air fryer is looking like right now. It's a little bit sliding around. We've got our 2 English muffins in there as well as our chicken thighs. So this is gonna go back in the air fryer for about 2 minutes, and we're gonna up the temperature to about 400 degrees, melt that cheese, toast English muffins, and then we'll put the whole thing together. And just like that, 2 minutes later, we have our chicken and our English muffins toasted. These look absolutely delicious. So let's go ahead and put them on a plate. First thing we'll do, go ahead and grab the bottoms of your English muffins. We'll go ahead and throw those down. Or actually grab all your English muffins. Boom, and boom. Alrighty, so next we're gonna do is go ahead and on the bottom of the English muffin, we're gonna add the other little bit of red sauce and cheese. As I mentioned before, we put 20 grams on each chicken thigh. Now we're gonna put 20 grams on the bottom of each English muffin. And then on top of that red sauce that we now have, we're gonna add the other half of our cheese per sandwich. So each sandwich, like I mentioned, gets 1 full serving. Half of it goes on the chicken thigh and the other half goes on the bottom of the sandwich. So we're gonna add the other half real quick. And I'm gonna give you guys a better angle as I put the chicken on. And just like that, 15 minutes later, we have our 2 chicken Parmesan sandwiches right there, looking absolutely delicious. Boom. The great thing, the cheese we just put down actually gets melted by the chicken on top that's still warm. Also, I do have a diet Snapple tea. This is the Takes 2 to Mango tea. 5 calories, absolutely fantastic. One thing that I do substitute with Diet Coke quite a bit. And then make us the meal by adding something on the side like a fruit, vegetable. Here I've got some orange pepper, And real quick, I'll go over the macros. So we'll do one sandwich and then basically both sandwiches, we're just gonna multiply everything by 2. But for one sandwich, it is 324 calories, and then it is 30 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fat, and 29 grams of protein. So that's one of these sandwiches. And in those calories, we have one whole English muffin, 100 calories. We've got 3 ounces of chicken thighs. We've got one full serving of mozzarella, or 28 grams. And then we've got 40 grams of red sauce, 20 on the chicken and 20 underneath. I mean, and then, yeah, so for the entire meal, both sandwiches, it's gonna be 648 calories, 60 grams of carbs, 26 grams of fat, and 58 grams of protein. Quick math, mental math, baby. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic if you ask me. I'm gonna go ahead and dig into these. I know, oh my goodness. I mean, these look so good. All right, quick taste test. Holy crap, that tastes so good. I'm a huge Italian pizza fan, chicken parm. It's one of my favorite meals of all time. This is so good. Maisie can smell it from a mile away. She's here gonna watch me eat this whole thing. But yeah, let's jump to our second recipe of the video. The second air fryer meal I have for you guys is even easier than meal number 1. It's gonna be some salmon, sweet potatoes, and asparagus. I already cut those up. Hopefully you guys don't mind that I skipped that process. But really, it's just cutting up a sweet potato. This is 250 grams of sweet potato and then 10 spears of asparagus. We also have some salmon over here. This is a little over 8 ounces, but I'm only gonna eat 6 ounces of it, but I'm gonna cook the whole thing. I'll save some for later. Otherwise, yeah, as far as seasonings go, on the salmon, I'm gonna be using some garlic powder, paprika, and then salt and pepper. If you wanna add something like some chili for a little bit more spice, go ahead, feel free. That's kind of a little bit of freestyle. Put whatever you want on the actual salmon. And then also we're gonna have some olive oil spray, and once again, our air fryer, foil inside. Go ahead and spray that down first before anything else. And then what I like to do, just to save a little bit on calories, instead of putting olive oil actually on the salmon, go ahead and spray it down. We are gonna count for probably about half a teaspoon of olive oil in total. Go ahead and spray the salmon, and then you'll go ahead and add on all your seasonings, press them in, make sure they get nice and coated, and then we're just gonna put them in the air fryer. And all this is gonna cook at 400 degrees. The salmon will probably only take 6 to 8 minutes, but we're gonna leave the potatoes and asparagus in there for 10 to 12. All right, so our salmon is now seasoned. It is nice and rubbed in, so we're gonna lay that down. Then we're gonna do our asparagus. Just make sure we kind of spread everything out the best we can. If you have a smaller air fryer, you might actually do this in batches, but mine's pretty big luckily. And it's like perfect for like one serving size of everything. We got our asparagus in there. And like I said, 250 grams of sweet potatoes. Boom. There we go. And then I'm gonna hit everything with a little bit more olive oil spray. I'm also gonna add salt and pepper onto the potatoes and asparagus. Alrighty, and there we have it. There's our basket. We got our asparagus, our salmon, and our sweet potatoes. Those go in the air fryer at 400 degrees. Like I said, the salmon will probably be 6 to 8 minutes, and then we're gonna let the sweet potatoes and asparagus go a little longer, maybe 10 to 12 minutes. Just making sure everything's cooking all the way through. The most important thing is salmon gets cooked all the way through, and our sweet potatoes get nice and soft. One quick tip, at the halfway point, maybe about 6 minutes in, right before you take out the salmon, go ahead, open the air fryer, use a fork or knife or something to mix up the potatoes and asparagus a little bit so everything cooks evenly. Other than that, at the 6 to 8 minute mark, take out the salmon and then let the potatoes and asparagus go the rest of the way. And 12 minutes later, we have our dinner right here. Asparagus, sweet potatoes, salmon cooked up. You guys can see that right there. I got a nice little close up for you. We're also gonna have a Fresca on the side. I'm getting hammered in the comments where I said Fresca is the best low calorie drink or 0 calorie drink. Everyone says Coke Zero is where it's at. I do Diet Coke normally, so I definitely need to pick up some Coke Zero to try next time around. I'll go ahead and read off the macros for this meal real quick. So for this meal, it is 6 ounces of salmon, 250 grams of sweet potatoes, 10 spears of asparagus, spears or spears, I think I messed it up once before, and then we're gonna call it 0.25 teaspoons of olive oil, just the spraying, and that's gonna be 527 calories, 56 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat, and 43 grams of protein. This is quite the easy meal, if I do say so myself. It's kind of like those one pan meals, if you guys seen those on YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, where they make an entire meal in like one pan. I'm kind of doing everything in one air fryer, if that makes sense. So this is our sweet potato salmon, quick taste test. Hopefully this salmon's cooled off a little bit. I mean, that's almost cooked to perfection. Woo. God, salmon is so good. It's really the only fish I love. I mean, I like other fish too, but for whatever reason, I just love salmon so much. I try to have it at least once a week because I don't eat fish normally. So once a week, get some salmon in the diet, healthy fats, omega-3s, all that good stuff. You guys saw me give Maisie a little bit of food. I'm sure she'll get a little bit of sweet potatoes at the very end because I'm kind of full for some reason. I think it was because I had a big lunch, big workout. My appetite isn't really there. But I'm doing my best to dig into this. And the next air fryer meal is a special one. It's pretty unique. I'm gonna call them my cheeseburger dippers. I know most videos I try to not save the best for last, but it just happens to be that this video, the best is last. And we're making what I'm calling some cheeseburger dippers. And essentially what those are, we're using some tortillas. We have some ground beef. Oops. And here we have some 96 4-ground beef. I cooked up 1 whole pound, and this is half of that. So it should be 8 ounces raw, and I'll go ahead and weigh it out for you guys now that it's cooked and cold, and as well as, of course, our reduced fat Mexican cheese. This is in almost every one of my videos, just because I love the blend, and it is the reduced fat, because a lot of my grocery stores don't have fat-free. So this is the next best thing. We're gonna have 2 servings of our fat-free cheese. Then we're gonna have our 96 4-ground beef, like I mentioned, half pound raw. And then we're also gonna use 3 of these tortillas. So these are technically spinach and herb tortillas, but they are 80 calories per serving. So each one of these tortillas is 80 calories. This is the large Olay Extreme Wellness tortillas. They didn't have the regular version, so we had to go with the spinach and herb, but you can get the regular version just as well. You don't really taste any of the spinach or herb anyways, so not a big deal. The first thing we do is warm up our ground beef. I would say only put it in for like 45 seconds to a minute. You don't need to do the full minute 30 to get all the way hot, but we just want to warm it up because this is going to go in the air fryer, and rather than having the air fry cook the meat or warm the meat up, it's more just to melt the cheese and everything, but I'm going to do that real quick. Now we have our ground beef that has just been nuked for a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and measure that out. Like I said, it should be 8 ounces raw, but when we actually cook it, it's going to lose some weight. So when we weigh this back out, that came out to be 6 ounces cooked. So either way, if you want to track it raw or cooked, I actually put this in the how to find your maintenance video, that raw and cooked meats have different weights, but it should be 8 ounces raw and it came out to be 6 ounces cooked. That might change depending on how long you cook it for, that kind of thing. And then what we're gonna do is actually mix in our cheese now, and then we're gonna have our tortillas, and I'll show you guys how to fold these, what I call cheeseburger dippers. So we have our ground beef right there. We'll go ahead and measure out 2 full servings, or was that 56 grams of cheese. So go ahead and do that real quick. But I'm gonna mix this up, and then that is gonna be the filling for what I'm gonna call my dippers, or a cool little way to fold the tortillas in a specific way to make a triangle shape. But I'll go ahead and get a good close-up of that. So the first thing you'll need to do is go ahead and grab one of your large tortillas. I'm using a cutting board, but you can really do it on anything. And we're actually gonna cut this in half. So go ahead, just use a pizza cutter. You can use a knife as well. And go ahead and cut that in half. Boom, just like that. Now we're gonna take some filling and put it in one of the corners. So our filling right here, use, I would say a generous amount. We're gonna be making 6 total dippers. So go ahead and measure out like about a 6. So have that right there, probably do a little bit more, boom. What we can do, go ahead, smush that together. And the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and take this side and fold it in. So take about an inch, fold that in. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and bring this corner down here up to the side right there. So you might have to adjust some of the stuffing, or whatever you want to call it, right there. Boom. So we got that. We'll take this corner over here. So kind of go at a slight angle. Boom. Once again, kind of making sure everything stays in. If you have a little bit fall out, not a big deal. And then we're going to do that again. Basically have this corner go here. Boom. And And this last little bit you have, there's a pocket that you can just tuck it right in. So you're gonna take that and you just kind of tuck it in there, just like that. And boom, there you have your cheeseburger dipper. We're gonna go ahead and set that to the side, and we're gonna repeat the process 5 more times to get a total of 6 dippers. There we have our 6 dippers. Now these are gonna go ahead and cook in the air fryer at 400 degrees for just 3 minutes. You can also use a little bit of nonstick on the air fryer as well as on the dippers once they're in. And there we have our cheeseburger dippers, nice and warm. They got that nice crunch on the shell from the air fryer. And I also added 50 grams of reduced sugar ketchup, and yeah, that's why they're dippers. We take our cheeseburger dippers and dip them in some ketchup. Inside, obviously, we have the cheese and the ground beef. Nothing else crazy, just cut up a tortilla, fold it a certain way. But I'll go ahead and read up the macros real quick for this entire meal, and we can go obviously per dipper, all that kind of stuff. So without the ketchup, just the ground beef, tortilla, and cheese, it is 680 calories for the whole thing. And then it is 74 grams of carbs, 25 grams of fat, and 84 grams of protein. And then per dipper, just go ahead and take all that and divide it by 6. Oh my goodness, my math is not that great. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, I had to do some math on the calculator, but it comes out to be 114 calories per dipper, 12.3 grams of carbs, 4.2 grams of fat, and 14 grams of protein. And then the ketchup as a whole, let's see, is gonna be about 45 calories, so you can add that. You can obviously dip it in actually anything. If you wanna do mustard, mustard mayo, ketchup concoction, salsa even if you wanted to. But I'm gonna go ahead, dip these in some ketchup because that's what I like with my cheeseburgers. And these are cheeseburger dippers. These get 2 thumbs up, highly recommend. Like I said, normally I don't always say best for last, but in this video, in this case, I 100% save the best for last. These cheeseburger dippers, I'm very proud of. Other than that, we're gonna give Maisie just a little bit. Sit. Ready? Nice, ready? Yeah. All right, so she caught some of those. But I'll go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.